All right, happy Tuesday night, everybody. Welcome on into the daily broadcast. Coming to you from the Raiderland World Headquarters, brought to you by United Supermarkets on the United Supermarkets chat line, Market Street as well. They support Texas Tech. I know a lot of you guys like that about them. You also love it that you can go there and this weekend, hey, it's grilling season, right? Steaks, yeah, all the cool stuff to make fajitas. I don't know why you want to do a roast. But all of a sudden you need like charcoal. Yeah, they got that. Lighter fluid. Yeah, they got all the things you need at United Supermarkets and Market Street. Also brought to you by McAlpin Chiropractic. If your back is out of whack, don't call it quack. Call Kevin Mack. Totally legally not his slogan. I just like saying it. And then Ultra Exteriors from roofs, windows, siding, and almost anything and everything in between. Ultra Exteriors in Lubbock can take care of everything and all the damage that you might have suffered over the last couple of weeks and all the storms around Lubbock and West Texas. Call Warren Taylor, tell him we said hello. Actually, this week, Warren, Ultra Exteriors is still there ready to serve you, but Warren is on the road, I think, for another day or two. So, yeah, you call you. You might find him, but you might find him in St. Louis watching a baseball game. He's that kind of guy. Let's do the show in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, where you start your day every day looking at those Raiderland hot links, the freshest, hottest links from around Raiderland and beyond. We figure if we like it, you're going to like it, so we throw them out there. Give the question of the day every day there. Today we continue our Talkin Baseball series. Yesterday it was left fielders. Today it's center fielders. We're going left to right, third to first, catcher, pitcher. It's baseball time. Let's talk about your favorite baseball players. So today, all-time favorite center fielders, from Willie Mays to Josh Hamilton. You know, Ty Cobb all the way to Andrew Jones, and anybody and everybody in between. Your favorite Texas Rangers center fielders. Your favorite Astros center fielders. Your favorite center fielders of all time. And then bonus points if you yourself played center field. I think in all my years playing baseball, I don't think I ever logged an inning in center field. I'll tell you a story about being in center field at Danlaw Field later on, but I was certainly not playing in a game. So we got that. And then Tuesday's best. Every Tuesday we give you a topic. You give us the 2 best answers. Tonight, two best, 2 greatest, 2 favorite movies about the great state of Texas. What do you got for us tonight? The 2 best movies about Texas. And we should say at this moment, Lonesome Dove was not a movie. It was a television series. It was a mini series on TV. If we want to argue that it is a movie, I'm not gonna get in the way of you. But it was not a movie. I'm thinking tonight specifically movies. But I understand the affinity for Lonesome Dove. I love it. It's one of the greatest cinematic, can we say television cinematic pieces of all time? I don't know. It still wasn't a movie, the miniseries. Oh, in Texas Tech baseball, radio silent. Where are the transfers? Where's the action? It took almost a week. Well, not quite a week. But, Kendall Rogers reporting last week, D1 Baseball, among others, that Stephen Foster was going to be your pitching coach. They finally announced it today. And when they announced it, the former Rockies pitching coach, the longtime denizen of the Rockies organization, former big leaguer with the Reds, they said, welcome Fosty, F-O-S-T-Y. No, I can't do that one, okay? I can't make that one happen. I can't call you Fosty. He's older than me, a couple years older than me. He's like 2 years older than me and Tim Tadlock. I can't call you Fosty unless we're teammates on a minor league hockey team. Hey, Fosty, what's Doozy doing over there? Oh, yeah, Jonesy, he's going over there picking up the food. Okay, all right then. All right, Fosty. What the hell is Fosty? No, Coach Foster. Can't do it. James giving us thumbs up tonight. You guys get in on the United Supermarkets chat line. They support Texas Tech just like you do, or some of you do. Not everybody has to. You can watch the show whether you support Texas Tech or not. Michael, getting in on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. This is a good time to remind you guys, you can subscribe to all of our platforms. They're all free. At Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter or X or whatever. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook. Many of you are already there. And then our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. We ask everybody to subscribe to all of them. They're all free. Watch where you want. And then on YouTube, share it, like it. Same thing on Facebook. Share it and like it and grow it. Hands down, Ken Griffey Jr., your favorite of all time. The kid, Ken Griffey Jr., the man who made wearing your cap backwards popular, drove my dad crazy, drove me crazy a little bit. Don't wear your hat backwards unless you're playing hide catcher. You know? Michael asking, does the movie The Rookie count? And I just blanked out suddenly on his name, and I should know this, but out of Brownwood, he comes up after coaching high school baseball in Big Lake, Reagan County, says, yeah, you guys make the playoffs, I'll try out. He goes back, he makes it. Fascinating story. He played quarterback for Gordon Wood in Brownwood in the 1980s, early 1980s, I guess it was. Makes the big leagues there in 97, 98, trying to remember which year it was, with Tampa Bay. They make a movie, and sadly, I don't think his life has turned out all that great, but it's a movie about a guy from Texas, former Texas high school football player, baseball player, who makes his debut at the ballpark in Arlington. I mean, I remember when it happened in real time, before the movie. I remember when this was going on that summer. You know, we're on the Williams and Hyatt show, kind of talking about like this thing's pretty crazy, pretty impressive. But you're going to put that ahead of the frickin' Alamo? Either version? No, come on now. Tuesday's best topic, 2 best movies about the state of Texas. Give me what you got tonight. You tell us about that. Should we be concerned that Tech baseball, we're not hearing much on the player front? Should we be concerned about that yet or not? I think the worst thing that has happened to Tech baseball in the last month is Tech softball, that people have watched what has gone on the softball front, and they're like, and you, et tu baseball? I don't know how to say baseball in Latin. And people are like, okay, well, when's the baseball deal going to happen? When's the transfer portal going to kick in? Talked last night. This is really the week it kind of gets going. Last week somewhat, but it seems like it's an after the College World Series thing. Guys are getting to their summer league destinations, and that's when this stuff begins to roll. At least they announced Steve Foster as the pitching coach today. Honestly, I was really beginning to wonder if Kendall Rogers had actually missed one at D1 baseball. Didn't seem like it, but here it is. Tuesday's best, 2 best movies about Texas, greatest center fielders of all time. We're talking baseball. It's that time of year. It's summertime. Your favorite center fielders. You can go Rangers and Astros on that. Get your questions and comments in on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, on our YouTube channel for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland as well. Brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. Texas, greatest center fielder all time. I guess we go Josh Hamilton, right? I mean, that's it. Rangers, Josh Hamilton. I mean, we all know how it flamed out. We all know how weird it got. We all know how hard it is to like Josh Hamilton, the guy, based on what we've learned over the years, and reconcile the fact that he gave you couple of amazing seasons. I mean, ridiculous, amazing seasons at the Major League Baseball level. But do we just automatically default to that if we're Ranger fans? I mean, there are other guys out there that you can go with. You know, Gary Matthews had a nice year in 06. Get this, though. Al Oliver, 1979. He hit 323. Would you take that today as a Ranger fan? A guy hitting 323 with 12 jacks, or Mickey Rivers the next year, Mick the Quick, 333 with 210 hits. I said 210 hits. Either one of those guys would be the best hitter right now, the best major league hitter for the Texas Rangers. Astro fans, I'm sorry, I'm just not. I don't have the depth of knowledge regarding the Astros when we get position by position to sit there and say, yeah, hey, the greatest Astro center fielder was fill in the blank. Now we can talk about your favorite ones, the best ones all time. Is it Willie Mays? Yes. All right, let's end that discussion right now. If we're talking about the all-time Major League Baseball, regardless of team, greatest center fielder, it's Willie Mays, because Willie Mays was the greatest baseball player of all time. Power, average, fielding, defense, speed, whatever you needed, Willie Mays was that guy. End of sentence, end of story. Better than DiMaggio, a more complete player than Babe Ruth. But what do you mean? Babe Ruth was a pitcher. Yeah, he was for a little bit. Well, he could have kept doing it, but he didn't do it. The greatest 5-tool, 6-tool, 7-tool baseball player of all time is Willie Mays. Therefore, he becomes the greatest center fielder. And I've seen nothing over the years that eclipses what I believe is Willie Mays as the greatest baseball player of all time. There are guys who excel a little bit more here in a certain area or over here or a little bit, but top to bottom, Willie Mays, number one all time. Now we're talking favorite players. So, hey, Kirby Puckett was one of my guys back in the day. I had an odd, strange love affair with the Minnesota Twins, 87, 90, right in through there, that time frame. For me, that was, high school, early college in that era. Ken Herbeck, the guy's name spelled the same way in the box score as it was in real life. It's hard to do that. But man, Kirby Puckett. Where are we on Mike Trout? He may be the greatest unrealized talent of all time, Mike Trout. All right, so your greatest favorite center fielders all time, Astros, Rangers, your favorite teams. In 1984, the greatest, best, most favorite center fielder, number 20 for the Chicago Cubs, Bob Dernier. Bob Dernier for the Chicago Cubs. Hitting leadoff. Dernier, 100%. Tuesday's best question. 2 best movies about Texas all time. I have a couple of written down. And our friend David Collier from KMAC 28, who I think most recently was on television, and earlier today was on. He was not. He was not on the radio show on 100.7. I don't think he was. Dazed and Confused and Varsity Blues. Dazed and Confused 100%. It is a great period piece of 1976-77. It reminds me so much of living in Canyon, Texas. And my dad was one of those football coaches that would have shown up at dawn, hauling in Wooderson and all those guys off the football field wearing bike shorts. 100% on that. Varsity Blues, I mean, it was the weak-ass version of Friday Night Lights before they made Friday Night Lights. However, whipped cream bikini. That's got to count for something, right? Jeff, 100% agree. Willie Mays, the GOAT. I think he is. I think it stood the test of time. He crossed over from the 50s into the 60s in what we call the expansion era, the golden age of baseball in the 40s and 50s, the expansion era in the 60s, into the 70s, the modern era, depending on when you want to talk about it, from the mid-70s to 1979, 80, George Brett, whatever. Nobody better, nobody more complete as a player than Willie Mays. Great question here by Alan, talking about Tuesday's best, two best movies about Texas. I've got one written down. I had Dazed and Confused down. Thank you, David Collier, Chemic 28 Sports Director. I have one, two, three here that are not, the Alamo or, some of the ones that might be ubiquitous that you guys would go with on movies about Texas. I'm going to see if anybody comes up with it. But here, I do not have Office Space down. Does it count as a Texas movie, says Alan Corbin, since it was filmed in Irving? It's actually, I believe, in Austin, filmed in the Austin area, Penetrode and Intertrode and all that wonderful stuff. I believe it was filmed outside of Austin. Could be wrong. But it was a Texas movie. And it was if you were my age, and slightly younger perhaps, but right out of college, young professional in the mid to late 90s in Texas, that movie was you. The apartment complex, everybody, you and all your friends are just getting started at companies or whatever, you're hating stuff, everything else. There are a lot of components of it that are obviously Texas related, but I would say that it spoke more nationally, that it was a national movie about those of us who were between the age of, say, 22 and 30 than it was about being in Texas. Set in Texas, filmed in Texas, but not necessarily about Texas. Jeff, favorite player of all time, Yastrzemski. You're a day late. That was left field yesterday. David Collier, whipped cream bikini, and Mrs. Davis, will you go to prom with me? Ricky Henderson and Bernie Williams, Yankees. Florida Raider, West Texas bias, hell or high water, and No Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men, good. Obviously a very Texas movie. I've still got 1, 2, 3 down here that no one's gone with. No Country for Old Men, uniquely Texan. We're talking Tuesday's best, two best movies about Texas. About Texas. What does that mean, about Texas? Where's that, what is that dividing line? What is that about? Greatest center fielders of all time. Each day in the coming days, left field yesterday, center field today, tomorrow, right fielders, position by position, your favorite players all time baseball. We love talking baseball. That's what summertime's about, talking baseball. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. All right. Giant is not on my list, only because I figured that and boom, Jeff on YouTube, the Alamo, that I figured you guys would throw that out. Now, Giant is probably the first movie that was about Texas, that was over the top, that was everything that was Texas in that era. And you get some cool dialogue about, was it Luz? Which daughter was going off to Texas Tech and everything and whatever. But that movie was the first, I think, national movie that really set the tone for who Texans either thought they were, wanted to be, or the nation saw Texas through that lens. The Alamo, of course, John Wayne, 1960, filmed down in Brackettville. We all know the stories and everything else. It's a horrible movie when it comes to actual historical accuracy and everything else. It is a great movie when it comes to the mythology of Davy Crockett, Jim Bowie, Colonel Travis, the defenders of the Alamo, all of that. And sadly, that movie probably set back Texas history, actual real Texas history, 30 years. I mean, by the time I'm taking Texas history in the early 80s, I mean, like earliest of 80s, hell, they were still probably doing, we're doing lessons out of the movie. North Dallas 40, best sports movie about Texas. Seth Maxwell, quarterback. North Dallas 40, one of the most underrated sports movies of all time. It's not a movie about Texas. It's a movie set in Texas about the NFL. Pete Gent, you guys know all the story. I don't have to explain you on that. So I would say it's not a sports movie about Texas. It's an NFL movie. All the Pretty Horses, good movie set in Texas and Mexico. Very good movie. Bruce Dern with a cameo late in that movie. If you hadn't seen it, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but yeah, All the Pretty Horses is a good movie. Two best movies about Texas all time. Are you sharing this right now? Everybody who's watching, are you putting this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, sharing it? If you're on YouTube, are you liking, subscribing to the channel, getting us over 500? Greatest center fielders all time. Tech officially announcing Stephen, it's all I can do not to do it, from the movie Tombstone, but Stephen Foster as the pitching coach. And finally, Alan Corbin, who's known me long enough since he was a wee lad, trekking down the block to shoot hoops in my driveway. Last Picture Show, probably the best. Absolutely. Peter Bogdanovich, Larry McMurtry, Sybil Shepherd. Last Picture Show is on my list of one of the greatest, absolutely one of the greatest movies about Texas. It captured an era in the early 1950s, a harsh period in the state of Texas, in West Texas. It is unbelievable. Yes, The Last Picture Show is on my list. It only gets better with time. It really does. And I'm not saying that because of Sybil Shepherd on a diving board, at a swimming pool, indoors. I'm not just saying that. Maybe I am. Hold on, I got to go back. Florida Raider chiming in. A Perfect World. Haven't seen it. You're going to have to educate me on that one, educate the audience, tell us why it would be one of the two best movies about Texas. Chris getting in on Facebook tonight. If you're on Facebook, you're getting in on the United Supermarkets chat line, just like everybody on YouTube and Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Friday Night Lights and Glory Road. Glory Road? Are we really counting? Are we really counting El Paso and UTEP as being a part of the state of Texas? Are we really doing that? By the way, the movie scenes in that, when they go through the regionals, that was at the Lubbock Municipal Coliseum back in the day. They did a pretty decent job of kind of recreating it, but not great. Friday Night Lights. All right, here's the deal. I grew up in Friday Night Lights. High school era, high school football that era, dad, high school football coach. I knew guys off that Odessa Permian team in Midland Lee. We played Midland Lee every year during that stretch. We didn't play Odessa Permian, and we certainly weren't good enough to play them in the playoffs because that would require making the playoffs. But I came to know a lot of those guys through camps, different things in high school and everything else. So when the book comes out there in 89, 90 with Buzz Bissinger, and then the movie later on, I'm sorry, I think the movie sucks. And I never got into the TV show. I think the movie sucks. And hopefully everybody who is our age or whatever, that you've actually read Friday Night Lights. Read the book, not the movie, not the show. TV show, totally different deal. Really had nothing to do with the book or anything else. Alan, Smokey and the Bandit, if we count Texarkana as part of Texas. I'm not even sure which side of Texarkana. Just invoice, Big Lou Bird. Oh, hell, we haven't got to go. We're in a hurry. All right. That's a good question. Where that beer store was, that they got, it had to be in Texas, theoretically. That beer store, that refrigerator that they liberated the Coors, heavy Coors, banquet beer, fine banquet beer. It had to be just on that side of the line. You know, that's funny. I've never seen anything that pretends to say, hey, this is where Snowman and the Bandit liberated the beer from in Texarkana. James, going back to our each day for the next few days, we're doing a position in baseball. Your favorite players by position, if you're just tuning in. Center fielders today, left fielders yesterday, right fielders tomorrow. Jim Edmonds, when he was with the Angels, best center fielder. Currently, best center fielder is PCA with the Cubs. Edmonds just making, Willie Mays over the shoulder catches all the time. Seeming so, and this was in the late '90s, and I was talking with a former Major League Baseball player. He's like, Edmonds is really, really smart. I'm like, huh? So yeah, no, he sucks on the break. He doesn't break in the ball really good. He doesn't see it off the bat really good. But he's so athletic and he can run so fast that he ends up making what would be a routine catch for a lot of guys. Just look, it's super exciting as he's running backwards catching it, where the average guy would have been positioned a little bit better, reads it off the bat coming out of center field. And I'll tell you that story in a second, and about me in center field. And then he makes the catch and everybody's like, oh man, that's great. Have a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper to go. I'm in a damn hurry. You, Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Sheriff. Mike Trout, too heavy to be a center fielder. I was worried about that with Judge. Too much wear and tear. Trouble. Corner outfielder. All right, so let's go back to the center field stuff. So back when I was young and dumb and doing Texas Tech baseball play-by-play in the 90s and for a couple of years in the early 2000s, I would go out there and I would usually catch infield is what I would do back in the day. And I know you're going, what? Yeah. No, I mean, I would catch infield. Boots, jeans, got my glove, got my hat, go down there, catch infield. It was a great way to just really kind of get a good feel for, what was going on the field and everything else. There were a couple of times, and this was not pregame, but it was on some practices, and this was in 97, 98, that I would go down and get in the outfield, and there is nothing harder. I still say this today, when there's not a big crowd at Danlaw Field, than picking up the ball off the bat coming at you in center field. The ball disappears into the metal bleachers, and back then there wasn't as much red. It's a lot better today. There's a lot more red. Back then, it was just mostly metal bleachers and stuff. And I'm out there. And again, this is, BP and, little fungo action, everything else. And I just, they were nice enough. Larry Hayes was nice enough to not notice. I'd be out there. And holy crap, it was like taking mortar fire some days. Because you can't see it coming off the bat. Now, I know it's a little better with fans back there, but even then, it would just disappear into the nothingness of the Danlaw Field bleachers. It's better today, although I'm told not much. It's still a really tough center field to play. They've, the backdrop is a little higher these days. That helps. I mean, I'd be out there and, I know that it's coming off the bat. I know that it's coming out to center field. Where is it? And one day, I'm not going to say who the player was. He saw me just like swimming and came across and just literally knocked me down. And he made a play on the ball, knocked me down for my own safety. And the fact that then he could say, hey, I knocked the radio announcer down in center field. Center field is not easy. I think it's the hardest of all the outfield positions, of which there are 3. But when it is right at you and doesn't get that high, I learned a lot being able to be out there. And I want to thank Larry Hayes and the coaching staff back in the day allowing me to do that. That I was just still young enough and athletic enough that they were like, all right, well, he's a dumbass enough to do it. We'll let him out there. But I learned so much being out there on the field doing those things there for a couple of years and seeing it through the eyes of the players. And I think it gave me an incredible grasp of what it's like to be out there, Not that I played. Don't get me wrong. Not that I played, but an incredible grasp of really how hard it is to do what they do at the college level. Meanwhile, back in the comments section, David Collier, KMAC 28 sports director. Sorry, I was buying me some blizzards. Anyone said Urban Cowboy. That's in your top 5, right? I didn't write it down. I'm willing to put Urban Cowboy top 5. I think I'm willing to do that. So we got last picture show. I've got 2 more that haven't been mentioned. Dazed and Confused is out there. Hated overcast weather, pop-up, outfield, ball would disappear. High sky is what we called it. There was nothingness up there, and that's another thing that I primarily, when I played, and I played poorly, catcher, and didn't have to deal with that a whole lot, but yeah, not too good. Trout too fragile to live up to the hype. He's Junior Griffey to the extreme. I would agree, to the extreme. That we all know he's a great player. We all know he's had incredible, great seasons, and we all go, man, what could have been if he'd been healthy? If Junior hadn't just climbed so many outfield walls and fences, what would it have been like? Hey, Junior, just play it off the wall once or twice. And turn your hat around. All right, it's bonus time. Green, white, checker, as they used to say. Top 2 movies. Tuesday's best. Movies about Texas. Greatest center fielders. All right, here are the movies that we didn't get mentioned tonight that I had written down. One is HUD. If you've not seen HUD, you need to see HUD. Again, black and white movie. And again, it captures an era of Texas that made Texas. It's gritty. It's not glamorous by any stretch of the imagination. Very much like the last picture show. There is another one that came out in about 1996, and it's called Lone Star. Chris Christopherson's in it. It was an indie film set down in the valley, and it tracks from the 1940s all the way into the 1990s. Probably 50s, 40s, 50s, into the 90s. And with everything we're seeing today with illegal immigration and securing the border and all these things, that movie was a little bit ahead of its time. But Chris Christopherson is unfreaking believable in the movie Lone Star. If you can find it tonight, watch it tonight. It is a movie that I would say 99% of y'all have never seen. And I'm telling you, it's really good. And it's hard to find. It's hard to find. And it's an unflinching look at an era of Texas politics and everything else. And if you happen to watch it in 1997 on a VHS and you recently hurt your back and you're on hydrocodone and Miller Lite and you didn't really understand completely what would happen if you had the Brett Favre cocktail, that movie's even more interesting. But I'm here to tell you right now, the actual movie does not contain giant lizards and snakes. Shame. It's really interesting when it had it. Thank you, Ultra Exteriors. If your home was recently damaged in the storms in West Texas, and you're sitting there going, man, I got roof problems, I got siding, I got windows, I got all this stuff. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. No, it can be fixed simple and easy with Ultra Exteriors. They can do all of those things and more. Heck, while they're there working on all that, tell them, I'd like a bathroom remodel and maybe an outdoor, backyard kitchen. I can do that. Ultra Exteriors, McAlpin Chiropractic. If, in fact, you've recently hurt your back at the gym or you've been gardening or you've been golfing and your back's not quite right or you just don't feel good, call Kevin McAlpin. Tell him we sent you. And, of course, all the communications brought to you by United Supermarkets on the United Supermarkets chat line. We ask you to do one thing if you enjoy what we do here. Hell, even if you hate it, you can't stand it. It's awful. Share it on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. On YouTube, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everybody sign up there, subscribe, get us over 500. That's the next kind of major milestone on that. And then, of course, on our Facebook page, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Same thing. Like it, share it, grow everything we do here. We're going to, shut it down. But then we'll have it on the website, theraiderland.com. We'll put it out there again, another way you can share that. And then jump back with us tomorrow. What If Wednesday, Alternate History Day, brought to you by Shropshire Insurance of Texas. If you have them for insurance, you never have to ask what if weird stuff happens. But sometimes weird stuff happens in life. And on Wednesdays, we talk about the alternate history that might have been sports or otherwise. So get ready to jump in on that in the morning at theraiderland.com. I have to hit a series of buttons now without making it look like I'm looking at my computer screen and trying to do all this at one time. But actually, I am. And I thank you for putting up with it.